Hello everyone, welcome back to the non-league treatment room with me, Cookie. As always, Davo is alongside me. How are you, mate?
Yes, ready for a new season.
Yeah, season 4, here we go.
I'll keep calling it season 5.
You do?
Season 4.
Getting ahead of yourself there, but we're starting off with another blinder.
Absolutely.
We finally got him. Again, this is one that was on the list when we first started.
Season 1.
Season 1, his name was there.
And now we've got him.
And now he's...
all thanks to the listeners and
Tread as
all
well.
the support. Yeah,
Tread,
big shout out to Tread.
Yeah, our sponsors, Tread, who have helped us out with this one as well. So, hope everyone's well. Thank you for joining back in. And thank you for the support as always. That's some lovely messages.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to keep going.
Yeah, the votes are up now as well. Well, no, the votes aren't up, but the nominations are up now. So if people haven't already, click onto that little link. It's on our Instagram. It's on our Twitter. Click on that. Get us back in there. And we can have another fantastic night out where I can have 9 pints of Peretti again.
I'd love to see that. Yeah, I'd like to see that again. So let's get him in. Let's do this. So in the treatment room today, we're going to explore his career highs, the challenges he's faced and what drives him to keep pushing the boundaries. From his early days in non-league football to his current status in the professional game, his journey is a testament to hard work, determination and an unwavering passion for the game. Please welcome Josh March.
How are you, Josh?
Not too bad yourself.
That was a good one, wasn't it, again?
Sorry about the long wait.
That's all good.
We got there in the end.
No, it's all good. It's how are you? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
You're
Yourselves?
Good? Yeah, not bad. Obviously, you spoke a little bit off. You had a nice long pre-season, nice off-season, haven't you?
Yeah. It's been a long one this year.
Bit different to usual.
Yeah, it's a few weeks longer this year because the season finished a bit earlier, so I'll take it.
Yeah.
Take it.
Do you still keep yourself ticking over though?
Yeah, you have to, because if not, you end up falling behind. To be honest, you get a bit bored just lounging around all day. You go to the gym just to get a bit of peace and quiet from home, to be honest.
Yeah.
Are you a runner, Josh? Do you like running?
Yeah, I don't mind a steady 5k just to clears the mind a bit, and I do quite like the gym as well. To be fair, I just like to stay active. I get a bit cabin fever just staying in the house all day.
It's got to be done.
End up losing my mind if I was just staying.
Yeah, fair play, mate. We do always kick off with, what does football mean to you? Big question.
To be fair, it's always been my life since I can remember. When I was going up the villa with my dad as a kid, trying to get in play in the back garden with me, so I didn't have to play on my own, recreating them football memories, pretending to be Wayne Rooney and whatnot in the garden. So it's always been my life, really. It's all I've ever known.
Always been a Villa fan then?
Yeah, as you can probably tell. So
it's
good times at the minute. So
yeah, absolutely good season.
It is good times. What are you wanting Ollie Watkins to get more game time at the Euros?
Nah, saving for the Villa.
I
ain't too bothered about him playing in the Euros. So
he's not a one though, is he?
Keep him.
I don't think he's a one.
Keep him fit.
No, but when you come on against, I know we weren't going to talk about Euros, but we've come on to it. But when you come on, he looks a bit lively.
Straight away, run it off the shoulder, running behind, caused a problem.
Yeah,
that's right. England lacked that the other day. They lacked runners in behind.
Last 2 games, mate.
Yeah,
I think
Gordon's got to start for that reason against Slovenia.
Potentially.
Stretch it a bit.
I think so as well.
Hopefully Gareth listens to this.
Come on, Gareth. Tell us about, you've already touched on your early days of football though, but yeah, tell us a little bit about your early days of football. How did you first get into football and that playing?
To be honest, I don't really remember. I presume my old man, because he's always been big on football. I've just always loved it, to be honest, like as far as I can remember. But I've always loved all sports. I used to like cricket and that as well. So I think I just like being active as a kid. I could never sit still, a bit like I am now. But football was always the main sport. I loved playing it as a kid. Even like when, say, my mum and dad was at the pub, I'd be outside on the grass, lumping the ball around, getting dirty, and they was going mad at me for getting dirty. And I always wanted to wear a tracksuit, so I could always
always ready.
Yeah, so I was always ready for a kickabout. But
can you remember your first ever team as a junior, Josh? Like, who was the first team you ever played for as a young kid?
The first team I remember playing for was a team called Coombswood that were like my dad helped out running.
Okay.
And I think we played. Me and my one mate, he was a keeper. We played in like an under-9s game when we was about 6 because they was short on players. We got battered about 14-0 or something. But that was like the first game I ever remember playing in. Like my mate he's not the biggest lad anyway. I think he got lobbed. he got lobbed so many times. But that's the first game I remember playing. But ever since, played there for a few years and just loved every minute of it, really.
Yeah, nice.
So your journey has been quite unique. So rising from non-league into the professional game, what's that journey been like for you? Do you sometimes have to like pinch yourself, or you expected it? Like,
I wouldn't say I ever expected it, to be honest. I didn't really put much pressure on myself about making full-time football. I would have done it anyway, regardless, with my mates, with getting paid for it or not. So I'd have played, and then earning a few bob on the side in non-league. That was a little bit of a bonus for me, working in the factory and then playing on the weekend. So I never thought I'd get to where I got to be honest. They're
the best stories, though, aren't they? When you say things like that, like from a factory to then going into the professional.
That's what makes like stories like this. I love them.
Yeah.
Like we've had like, obviously Matty Stenson and Danny Newton.
Yeah.
Similar type of players who've come from that rise. Did you ever get into an academy or anything?
Yeah,
like
I was in and out of academy as a kid. I was at Wolves, Villa, and Albion.
Okay.
I was released 3 times for being too small. So I was a small. I didn't start growing until I was about 16, 17. So I was always like really small. But when I was at Wolves, I was top goal scorer, and then I remember asking my old man and saying, "What time are we leaving for training?" He was like, "We're not going training tonight. Obviously, you've been released." And that one was most shocked. Obviously, I was doing so well.
Yeah. Doing
so well there, and I think that one probably hit me the most. When I got released from Villa, it was deserved because I weren't the best. I didn't have the best season at Villa, so
I bet that one hurt the most, though, didn't it? Because they're your team. That's who you support.
No, I'd say Wolves, because I was in my head I deserved another contract.
Right.
And it was more of a shock.
Yeah.
Where Villa, obviously, I know I support them. I knew deep down I wasn't good enough for that time. Where at Wolves I was top goal scorer. When I got released, the coach, which is George Forsyth's, who plays in non-league as well, he's a good lad. He remember calling me and my old man around his house saying, like, basically apologising.
Really?
Because it obviously weren't his decision. He was trying to fight my corner, but the academy director ended up releasing me because of my height. Because they signed someone who was, they said, similar ability but taller. So we're releasing you. And then at the Albion, I was a defender.
What?
Yeah, the Albion one was first. So I was like, it went Albion, Wolves, Villa.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Albion, obviously, you're just upset because you want to be at academy, don't you?
So then what happened then? You just come to an age where you couldn't be in academy anymore.
Well, my last one was when I was 13 and I got released from Villa. So I tried and played that Midland
combination,
Midland Junior Premier. The Kids League.
Yeah.
And that was quite a good standard.
Yeah.
I don't know if it still is now, but back in the day, you used to have to be like affiliated to a non-league club.
Oh, okay.
So it was all like ex-academy players or people that are pushing academies. So the standard was really good. I used to play for like Starport Swifts in it.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that was quite a good standard. And I'd play on Sundays with like Hallowsauks. You ever heard of them?
No.
Like a team in house, like a Sunday team.
Okay.
So I just went and played like with my mates from school on Sundays.
So was that your mentality then going forward? Then I'm just gonna, academy thing ain't for me. I'm just gonna go and play with my mates and I'm just gonna enjoy it.
Pretty much. Well, yeah, pretty much. Because obviously, I'm not gonna stop playing football. It's something I enjoyed. So I'd have played no matter what. Really, I probably would still play now if I weren't. But even playing non-league, I'd still play. Just it's a hobby, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah, well, we've spoke about it loads, haven't we, on the pod, and said like it can ruin some people and some boys and girls when they get released from academies, and it can put them off completely. Yeah. And I've seen it firsthand, and all these kids that have got ability, and it's always that card too small.
Yeah,
we've had that a few times,
especially like back in them days. I think it's a bit different now because obviously you got your Messi's, Phil Foden, and players like that are small, but they're agile enough. So I think it has changed a bit. I think since back then.
So when was you obviously you played not the Midlands Junior League. When did the first taste of men's non-league football come?
Well, that was at Tipton when I was 17, I think it'd have been, because I played in the Floodlit League for Tipton Town Youth.
So is that the same league as what Averson under 18s would have been?
It would be, but they'd be probably under a different bracket.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Different section, I suppose, different areas, isn't it? I suppose.
Yeah.
So I played in there, and I didn't. Because it's 2 years, it's under 18s, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the first year I was like in and out. I think looking back now, I think I was growing because I couldn't kick a ball. Where like my body weren't doing what my brain wanted it to look at. So looking back, I probably was having a massive growth spurt. And then I had a poor season again, really. I couldn't really get into the team at 16 in the Floodlit team. And then a manager called Nick Hawkins come in for the first team at Tipton, and he was just having every session he'd have like 2 lads from the youth team just come train with him, probably just to make the numbers if anything. And he liked me. He liked me arrogance. I had a bad session really. Like I was a bit nervous and whatnot. I could give a few balls away, but I remember I tried to chip the keeper when he was on his line, and then it was just this little he's played like a 1-2, and he could have got he was the player manager. He could have got the ball. All I've done is sidestepped him so the other player can run off, and he sort of loved it. And then from then he says, "You're with me. You're not a youth team player anymore. You're a first team player." And I didn't play one game of first team football. There's him and me and Mark Ganderton that was with the first team from then.
So would you say that your first appearance in men's football then was at that age of 16, 17?
17 it'd have been, yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, how did you find that?
Well, it started quite well because the first league game, because that was pre-season, the first league game of the season, I come off the bench at half-time and scored like a 91st minute equaliser away at Loughborough. Okay. So it couldn't have gone.
Couldn't go any better.
Yeah, so then I think that having that just gave me the confidence then, and they used to call me like Asbo and stuff like that because I used to just run around kicking people because I weren't really afraid of anyone. So they used to call me Asbo, and I sort of thrived off it, if you get what I mean.
Have you had to tame that a bit? That's interesting. Have you had to tame that bit of you while coming up through your journey into the professional game, or have you still got that now?
I think I've still got it a bit, but obviously it's more
controlled.
Yeah, it's got to be, because if not, I can't be affording to get a red card. Because if you miss 3 games of football in the football league, it's so hard to get back into the team. So you almost can't afford to miss games because it's hard to get so hard to get back in. Touchwood, I haven't been sent off in the football league. Touchwood.
So then you moved to Alvechurch?
I actually went to Causeway first.
Causeway, okay.
The same season, because Nick Hawkins, something went on behind the scenes. So Nick Hawkins left and he went to Dunkirk. And obviously I weren't driving at the time, so going to Dunkirk for me was too far, because obviously my dad was having to take me. So then Causeway, was I played against Causeway, and one of my old coaches played for him when I was a kid, and they approached, obviously, the old non-league would come and sign for us before the 7 days have gone in. And I was like, I'm happy here, because obviously I'm playing for Nick and he loves me. So I was like, but then he left, so then Causeway got back onto me, and then I ended up going Causeway, and so I think I scored 20 goals in the step 5 for Causeway with basically all my mates who I'm still mates with now.
So was that like a step up, or was it equivalent?
No, it was the same level.
Oh, okay.
But because Tipton, everyone left, so it was just a bunch of kids. So I didn't really want to stay there. I wanted to play with grown men. Yeah. So when Causeway come in, and it was round, because I was playing at Halzone at the time, round the corner from my mum and dad's house. It was just perfect, because someone could get me for a away game if my dad couldn't take me or my mum couldn't take me, and then they'd obviously drop me back, or it was just perfect, really. And I knew one of the coaches, and it was just pretty much a group of lads who were mates playing football together, because there was no one being paid there. You used to have to try and beg the committee for 20 quid for petrol if he was playing away. But obviously I wouldn't drive, so I was alright because I didn't pass my test, so I used to jump in with some of the lads.
Superb.
So then how did you find getting to Alvechurch then? Where did that happen?
Well, Ian Long, after that season, Ian Long was at Tibberdale. So they were still playing in the JW Hunt, is it, that cup?
Yeah.
They were still playing in there. So he was like, I'll come down to training at Tibberdale. Like, basically, we want you for next season. I was like, yeah, I'll come down training. So then I was enjoying it. So I was like, yeah, I'll come sign for Tibberdale for you. But then something happened there behind the scenes again where I think they cut the budget by half, and this was at step 4.
Right, okay, yeah.
So he was a bit pissed off, so he ended up going to Alvechurch and was like, look, no matter where we end up, I want you. So I ended up going to Alvechurch with them. So technically I was about to sign for Tibberdale, but I ended up at Alvechurch because P left.
Is he at Rushall now?
Nah, he's at Walsallwood.
Walsallwood, that's the one, yeah, sorry, yeah.
With him and Carwell.
Yeah, because I saw, he went to... he did quite well. I thought he did well last year.
Yeah, he's done a good job.
Bearing in mind they only got promoted last season, was it, or the season before?
Yeah,
up into step.
They're up in step 4, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's bad at all, really.
No, not bad at all. So how did you find going into Alvechurch? You made your debut at 18, didn't you, for Alvechurch?
Yeah, that's what I've got. 18, yeah.
How did you find that pace and physical side of the non-league game?
Weren't too bad, to be fair, because we had a good team then, I think. So it's sort of like I was playing out wide. Okay, yeah. So I dealt with it quite well. I wouldn't say I started quite a lot. P was quite clever how he done things, because he'd have a squad of say like 18, 19, but you're not guaranteed to start. Okay. So he'd mix it around so much, so like and this is what I liked about him when I first met him. So I think I had a few clubs. I can't remember who, but I had a few clubs who I met, and I liked how he was honest. He's like, look, you're not going to start every game, but I guarantee you play 35, 40 games by the end of the season. And I said, like, me and my dad met him, so that's what I like. I said to my dad, like, I like his honesty. He's not like chatting shit to me, but I feel like I can trust him that I'm gonna, because I didn't want to go somewhere, and just like be a bit part player. And I ended up playing quite a few games for them, but I felt like I was doing. I think I scored like 15 or 16 the first season from out wide, or something around there, and it was quite a good season. We lost out to that season with Hereford was in there. It was sort of a mad season, really.
Were you happy with the fact that you were playing on the wing? Were you one of them players where you were just like, look, I'll play where you put me? Or? Yeah,
because even at Causeway, I ended up playing every position there. I ended up playing centre mid, left mid, right mid, up front for Causeway, so I was sort of used to that already. Obviously, I always used to like banter him a bit, saying put me up front, and he wouldn't do it for years. So I'd never really mind it, because the way P plays, it was probably helpful for me. I probably weren't ready to play up front,
right,
because of the physical battle it is. And I used to just play off like a big man and just come inside almost, and play off a big man as like almost like a second striker. So it was quite probably helpful at the time. Obviously, I probably didn't want to play there at the time, but it was probably helpful for me.
Big for your development.
And I feel like I'm quite adaptable now with my position. Even in the later seasons when we went up and that, I think I played every position for him except centre half and in goal. So I played fullback as well for him, because he trusted me, to be fair. Super. And I think it worked both ways. I trusted him and he trusted me.
So he stuck to his word then as well.
Yeah, I can't remember how many games I played that season, but I know it was a fair few.
So it's good having that. It's good having that relationship with someone like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because he was there for quite a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think I was there for 4 seasons. Together.
Yeah, you were there for 4 seasons.
Yeah, so he'd have been the same, because we left at the same time.
Right, yeah. So was he like? I would have thought you would have had some offers to go somewhere else during that time, but you were like, no.
Yeah, well, I had Hal Owen come in, and obviously offered me a bit more money and whatnot, but I was happy. Yeah. And I was playing, and that season where I was at Alvechurch, I was I was top goal scorer in the league. Like it was like the first quarter of the season or something, or maybe just a bit before Christmas. So I didn't really want to league, so I wanted to try and win that and win the league with Alvechurch because we lost out to Hereford. I wanted to win the league with them because I felt like that season before we should have won it, and we messed it up really because we missed about 16 penalties in one season, and they all seemed to be vital penalties. So it weren't just like a penalty where you've won 2-0. It was always a penalty at 0-0 where we've lost the game, or 1-0 where to equalise. It was just, and it was a chaos season. So I felt like I not owed Alvechurch that, but I wanted to get them promoted.
That's a really humble mentality to have, though, because not people that we've had on here, but I think footballers in general will do or go anywhere for that extra tenner.
Well, it was. I think it was 15 quid extra.
Yeah.
and 2 leagues higher at the time.
And you've stuck to your guns. And it's probably that little conversation that you've had with him at the start when you first met him, saying, look, come in here, and that honesty that you said that's kept you there and been like, I've got a job to finish here.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great mentality to have. But in total, spending your 4 years at Alvechurch, winning, are we right in saying multiple promotions?
Yeah, two I think it was.
So describe those moments when you're winning promotion for that club that you wanted to stay at under that manager. I bet that's just like a fucking great feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, because it was just like it was like, how do you explain it? It was, the group was like so together, and I felt like a big part of it, if you know what I mean. I felt like it was like my family loved it there, and like my mum and dad was always there. They was drinking there, they'd out behind the bar, and it was just like a real family club, and I felt like a big part of it. And the whole people that was there, it was like, it weren't just like a non-league football team. It was, everyone was so together. It was almost like a bit of a party bus, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So everyone was like, everyone would go out. Like I still see P and that and Colwell like now, when they're out like by my area. So, and I still speak to them. So it's like, even you can tell that was quite a close group.
And they're the ones that stick with you for a long time, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're like the ones that, even like down here with us and stuff. Like we still talk about it now, don't we?
Yeah.
With Ross and Adam and Tools and Geordie and that. We still have the group chat going. There's the matches goes in every year of when we've won the league and stuff, went there and stuff like that. And it's
guests in the previous episodes have said that sometimes that collectiveness can get you an extra 10, 12 points
100%.
a season.
I think that every time I've been promoted, the dressing room's been good.
Yeah.
And I think the dressing room, you don't realise how big the dressing room is.
Absolutely, I agree.
So you sort of did mention it, like that you felt like a big part of Alvechurch. So I actually found somewhere that you've been described as being an integral part of Alvechurch's rise from the Midlands Alliance to the Southern Prem. How important was that time at Alvechurch for you? So this is looking back now. How important was that time at Alvechurch for you to get where you are now?
Because I'd say it was good because it gave me a step up where I didn't have to go and prove myself to people.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was stepping up a level. You know, when you go to a new team, people are always judging you, no matter what level you go to. That first impression, that first training session, that first game, people are judging you, no matter where you are. Yeah. Where at Alvechurch, I could go in pre-season and not piss around, but just not worry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just like play how I play, and they trusted me. So I think that is a big thing for a player. Is you know that you're gonna play. Like it was more of a shock when I got dropped at Alvechurch than when, because he would drop me every so often. He would just give me a kick up the arse. Yeah. Which I'm not one to sulk and that. So I just get on with it. But he wouldn't be scared to, and he fucking used to hammer me. Fuck me. Really? Yeah, I think that's why I was scared to leave.
But also, he probably hammered you because he cared about it, and he knew what you could do, and he knew, the talent you had, and he obviously felt comfortable in that relationship that he could do that with you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, it's hard though to I used to say to him, fucking hell, give us a chance.
That balance, isn't it?
Yeah. But it gave me that grounding for like later on in my career. So it was obviously, it helped me a lot.
Definitely, mate.
It's like sort of father role in a sense.
Yeah,
It's
like
that
tough love, innit?
you want to impress him.
Yeah.
You want to impress him, but then when he's slammed the door on you and said you're grounded for today and you can't go out and play, and you're thinking, well, how am I going to show you what I can do if I'm sat here on the bench? Do you know what I mean?
I remember him. We went out on Christmas Day in Tamworth. I think this was like the first season with them.
What a place to go on Christmas
I
Day.
know. What was that club called? Alexandra's, was it?
Yeah.
Is that still going or not?
I'm not
Tamworth.
Yeah. I'm not
I don't think
sure.
We ended up going there and we had a game, and Cough Sphinx always play on a Monday, don't they?
Yeah.
So we had that game on the Monday, and obviously you still were swear on the Monday, ain't you?
Yeah.
I remember I was blowing, and he was battering me from the side, and I remember telling him to fuck off.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. The ball was still in play. He says, "Get over here now." I was like, "The ball's still in play." He was like, "I don't give a fuck. Get over here now." And then he started fucking battering me in front of all the lads on the bench and that. It was before half time, and so we've gone to walk in, up the stairs at Cough Sphinx, innit?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dodgy way.
And all the lads like on the bench come up to me. He's like, "Whatever you do, don't say anything back at half time. He's gonna fucking batter you. Don't say anything back." Pud's come in at half time. Does anybody? Because he always comes in like make sure everyone's alright. Anybody need ice? P's gone. Fucking march you, because when I fucking break his legs in a second. I remember fucking shitting myself.
Class. Well, eventually you do leave Alvechurch. And you join Leamington Town in the summer.
Oh, they weren't like that. It's not Leamington Town.
No?
Nah. Just Leamington.
Just Leamington.
Yeah,
We've got Leamington Town down here. So you
joined Leamington.
You joined them in the summer of 2019, joining up with our good friend of the pod, Paul Olleran.
Yeah.
And now in the National League North. So talk about how that move came about, and obviously what it was like at the start of Leamington when you were there.
Well, that's when I was first just started to get an agent. Instead of free, and he was saying to me like what clubs were interested, and there was like he said at the time there was Hereford and Leamington. Obviously you probably want Hereford, don't you?
Big club.
But then he said to me like, look, you go to Leamington, you're gonna play no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Did you know Paul Holloran at the time as well?
No, I didn't really.
Okay, that's interesting.
Didn't really know. No, obviously I know like about Leamington being non-league, but I didn't really know anything about them as a club or even like the history with strikers that have moved on. But I met him, and then you know what he's like. If you're not signing for him, you can't meet him because as soon as he grabs hold of you can't get out of it. So then I met him, and then the rest is history. I literally agreed that day.
Just to cut back on you, Josh, what made you get an agent?
I was literally about to ask that. I was literally going to say.
Everyone used to warn me off him, and he was an agent, but he was more of an advisor. Mike Fowler.
Yeah, he was manager down here.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
With Rickard.
But it was when he was helping out here, I think.
He was, yeah.
Okay.
So I remember it because I'll tell you the story I've got.
Yeah, and then he tried to sign me at Tamworth.
Okay.
Because I was on contract at Alvechurch, but Alvechurch rejected it because they was going to pay for me. He said anyway. And then he got the sack, so he was like, I'm going to become an agent. And because I used to speak to him after, like, he said to me, come in. I was like, all right. And he says, I won't charge you for what your non-league fees, blah, blah, blah. He says, I believe you can, like, make it almost into the Football League. So it was almost just being, like, blasé, if you know what I mean? Just going, yeah, go on then. Like, whatever. If you want to, if you think I can, go on then. And that's almost fell into it, if you know what I mean. But he was good for me at the time. He was just advising me, and he was saying, yeah, because without him, I probably would have ended up picking Hereford if that thing was true. Obviously, you don't know, but he said it was. But then he was like, look, you're gonna go Leamington on. You're going to play, and he's going to play you up front. Because I never really had a full season up front for Alvechurch, because I'd play you there and everywhere for Per, because he trusted me so much in positions that needed filling. Where Hughie says, you're going to come in and be my number 9.
How was the Alvechurch gaffer when you told him that?
Well, this helped me out also because he was leaving.
Okay.
Because I think he wanted a bit more money for the budget or something like that.
Yeah.
Some politics behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So then, almost like I could get away with leaving because I was too scared to tell you. Then he tried to get. This is when he went to Starbridge. He was trying to get me to go to Starbridge, and I remember being on holiday, like almost shitting myself to tell him that I'm not signing.
Wow.
Because I did almost like felt guilty.
Yeah, how did he take it though? Was he?
He to be fair, he said to me, "You're making the wrong decision. You're gonna be a bit blah 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 blah."
Yeah.
As he's gonna, because he wants me to sign for him.
Yeah.
So, but then to be fair to him, a few months later when he came and watched me at Leamington, he said it was the right move. So.
Yeah. What's this story that you've got? I want to hear it.
So it's a bit more in the future. I think you signed for Forest Green.
Yeah.
And I think you just scored. And I remember we just finished playing the game here, and we were walking around.
Yeah.
And he was like dead happy. You could see he was happy. And I was like, so how come you're so happy, Fowles? He's like, March has scored his first goal. I'm absolutely buzzing for him.
He's a real nice guy, Fowles.
Yeah, and he was like, I was like, okay, fair enough. And he was just like, like obviously won today. He's scored his first goal, and sort of. I was like,
the luckiest goal in the world as well. I'll take it.
We'll get onto it.
But so, how did you find your relationship with Paul Holloran?
Perfect, because I had such a hard hitting manager in P, who was so tough on me that I needed at the time. Because I was still going out quite a lot then under P and that, and he'd always fucking hammer me for going out. Where almost used to think, it's a Saturday night, I'm going out. He used to hammer me for going out if we got a game on a Tuesday and it's a Saturday. I've got 2 days rest for Tuesday game. Don't worry about that, I'll be fine. But then if he was losing at half time, fucking hell, I'd get the shits at half time, get battered. And then I went from him, who was such a who's so hard on me, to Hoogie, who's such a lover.
Yeah.
He put his arm around me and almost just blew smoke up my arse.
Yeah.
Everybody says that about him as well, don't they? They say that he's so relaxed, he'll come up to you and he'll whisper in your ear, go on, you go and sit in the bar for training today, you go and relax.
Well, there was one time where I think we had a game called off, a waterlogged pitch or something, and obviously I didn't get to go to the Villa often. And I was saying, can I leave training, because we was training at like say 12 or something, and we'd quick hour get out, and Villa was playing away at Sheffield United, and to get there in time to meet my mate who had a spare ticket, I had to leave at like 1:45 or something. I said could I come try and leave 10 minutes early just so I can make the Villa game? So obviously I don't get to go often. He's like, I tell you what, you're ill.
Class.
And just says, get yourself to the gym, do a 5k, you're ill, see you later, and put the phone down.
That's class, isn't it?
That's just good man management, I think.
It is, mate.
That's just knowing your players, isn't it? Knowing your players.
And I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
But then I made sure I went to the gym.
Yeah.
Did a 5k because I don't want to take a piss.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? He's give you an inch, you don't take a mile with it.
It's that gentleman's agreement.
That's what I mean.
That's it. Well, it clearly worked, didn't it, from these stats that we've got here?
Yeah. So you played. I've got here 27 games, scoring 24 goals.
Yeah.
Because you're only there for sort of from the
6 months almost.
6 months, yeah.
That's crazy.
How did you find stepping up into National League North though? First time playing that.
It sounds mad, but because I had in my head it would be, I felt like in my head it was such a big jump. Almost felt easier than it was. But I don't know if that's just confidence. Because I scored on the first day of the season, and it just almost takes you, when you get the first goal of the season off the striker, it takes your weight off your shoulders.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then I don't know if I scored in my second game, but then almost went like bang, bang, bang with goals. The next thing I know, I'm on like 4 goals in 6 games. Next thing, you just confidence is like you're not even thinking about who you're playing against. And I was just getting chances left, right, and centre. So it was almost like...
It's a good team though, and
it suited me because I could just almost stay on the shoulder and Jack Edwards just flicks everything on.
Yeah.
So I backed him to win the header, so I could gamble every time. So it was perfect. So I could, when you know the ball's coming as a striker, you without thinking you're making the movements.
Yeah.
And the ball's just falling for you.
Fair enough.
Still a lot of hard work though.
Going
through one-on-one. I think as a striker, I don't think there's nothing more nerve-wracking. Obviously, you've got that composure, and some strikers have just got that knack of being through one-on-one, and you can bet your mortgage on them to score. But that's the hardest bit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, getting the run right and, you know, anticipating where the ball's going to land is the easy bit. The hard bit.
To be fair, half the time I'd go around the keeper and go down and try and get a penalty.
Really?
yeah. I think I scored about 7 penalties that season from being around the keeper and going down.
Superb work.
It works.
So you talked about the changing room at Alvechurch. You only had a short spell at Leamington, but how was the changing room there? Was it similar or
very similar? But I'd say it was a bit more jokey.
Okay.
Like everything was like a laugh, like
especially with Jack Edwards and
and he was mental cudgies, isn't he?
Yeah,
is he still playing?
He's playing down here.
Captain down here, mate.
Yeah. How old is he? He must be about 41 now, isn't he?
Do you want to know something? He's only just turned 30.
Is he?
Yeah.
Or 31.
Yeah, or 31. But he's just had he's come back from a knee injury.
Yeah.
So he had to have an operation.
He had a bad knee injury when I was at Leamington.
He did, yeah.
But he's fair play to Cudge. He's still going.
He's a good lad, any Cudge.
Well, when we were here down as coach and physio, he was outstanding that season. We got promoted from step 6 to step 5, and it was like talk of the town, wasn't it? We've got Connor Good straight from the Neaton, wasn't it? Him and Hoodie, Jamie Hood.
Was it from the Neaton?
Yeah,
it was from the Neaton.
He was. Because he joined Nuneaton that season. I think it was back after COVID.
Yeah. Signed both of them, and everyone was like, fucking hell, this is
he's a local lad, isn't he? He's from Amsterdam, so.
Wanted to probably come back home, didn't he?
Well, that's it, mate. And he does die for the shirt, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's all or nothing, isn't he?
Oh, mate, he's a top lad as well.
Funny guy.
On a night out, mate, he's absolutely hilarious.
I bet those changing rooms are funny with him and that.
Yeah, well, you got TJ as well. He was a good guy. He was like a coach. Okay. And he was a funny character as well. So it was just like...
Which TJ?
Tom James.
The one who played left back from the Neaton as well?
Unsure, because he was a coach. He always goes on about his best mate, Ben Foster, and that.
So Tom James, there's the player Tom James as well.
Okay.
Who is I've met him at Courtney Balford's wedding. And he was an absolute loose cannon, apparently.
Yeah, probably.
We could be talking about the same person.
Yeah,
Tom, if you listen to this, reach out to us.
Yeah, please, someone clear out.
If you're that person.
Yeah,
but
it was just like changing room was just full of jokers like that. So it was quite easy to come into because they'd just hammer you for everything. Like, I used to take the piss out of my accent and that because obviously being a bit of a yam. All right, mate. So he should just batter me.
But was it still like set in stone on game days? You were serious then, and you know.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, as soon as everything was laughing and joking until warm up, like it was just that like we'd just have like a tear up almost, you know what I mean? And everything was so it was quite easy going really. Nothing was like everything was like what you needed, like trying out the back.
Professional, isn't it? It's good.
Setup there.
When we went and did the pod with Paul at the start of, I can't remember. God, it feels like ages ago then. Just like the setup there was lovely, like change rooms and just the way you talked about the club and that.
Yeah.
It sounds like
it's a good club. Leamington is. It's a nice club to be at.
We just wanted to touch on that, Paul. If you are listening, we hope you're doing well, recovering. Obviously, he's going through some tough times, so we hope we're all with you, mate.
Like
so
the best.
Make sure you recover and get back to that dugout. Did you know league clubs were looking at you? What point was the talk happening on, and what point did you know something was going to sort of happen?
It was probably a few months before January, because obviously I was on contract, so they couldn't buy me anyway until January. So it was probably a few months before then, because I was like at work at the factory, and I was having like random numbers call me constantly and saying, "Oh, we're a scout from so and so. Like, what's your situation? But what's your agent's number? Blah blah blah," and stuff like that. So that's when I started to realise that there was a lot of interest there, but I probably didn't realise probably realised later than there was there, if you get what I mean, like, which is probably a good thing, because I weren't focusing on scouts being there watching me.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did that sort of affect you going into games and stuff, probably knowing that these numbers are calling you and maybe a bit of talk to what you
I felt like it was a bit overwhelming, because I was on that much of a high from scoring goals. Like, I weren't really thinking about it, if you know what I mean.
I'd find that really hard not to.
I know, but when you're in that rhythm, when you're scoring, it's just, hard.
Sometimes it can
you know what I
be
mean?
also a what's the word? Like gives you that little bit more as well to
Possibly,
go. Hold on, I'm gonna try even more harder, or I'm gonna make sure.
I just felt like if I got a chance, I know I'd take it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was just, I can't really explain. Like, I weren't really thinking about anything. Nothing was going through my head, really, I'd say.
Yeah.
I just think it adds pressure. If you'd rather be told after the game than before the game.
Yeah.
You know, you've got, I don't know, Blackpool coming to watch you today. I mean, it might just be horses for courses, and people are built differently, but for me, I
think because a few times at Alva Church, I had got told that, so and so is here watching you today, and I always had a stinker. So it's probably almost it's never going to happen. So almost like I don't believe it's going to come true until that contract's in front of me. So it's probably a bit of naivety that helped me.
Is that the mindset you always had? Like even when there's this talk and you were playing so well.
Yeah.
And you.
Almost, if they'd come in, they'd come in.
Yeah, so you weren't going, I'm going to make it here. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be in the league. It's more of, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, that was my mindset.
And we'll go from there and sort of go with the flow, which I think is the perfect way to
have it.
Mate.
Yeah,
you do see some people at set 6 going, I'm going to make it, I'm going to get a contract. I'm like, hold on, mate. Like, just calm down a bit, you know what I mean?
Who did we have on that said that some of these League 2 footballers are like grasping onto it and holding they're holding onto it forever just because they don't want to drop down, and you know, they're probably not good enough, but they just do anything to stay at that status.
They're probably a bit worried though, because if they've never been in that level, you don't know, it's the unknown, isn't it?
Yeah, so imagine if they've been at the top and working their way down, it's probably a bit scary for a minute. Where, because you've been at the bottom, I know what it's like to have a normal job, so it don't really bother me going back down. Obviously, I want to stay as high as I can for as long as possible. But like I say to my missus, I'm going to do this after football, I'm going to do that after football. Like, I've always got one eye on when football finishes, if you know what I mean. If it's next year, because I'm out of contract in the next summer, so it could be next year for all I know. So I almost come to terms that if I go back to work, I have to go back to work.
That's
got to pay the bills.
It's a great mindset to have, and it's great that you understand that as well. But I think with a good season and the belt, I think
touch wood.
Yeah, definitely.
Even a good pre-season, it can change.
Pre-season's massive.
It can change anything, can't it?
Yeah, pre-season's massive. Every time I've had a good season, I've had a good pre-season. And where I felt like last year I had a bit of a poor season, and I was stopped starting pre-season.
What makes a good? Why then? So why having a good? It's probably a simple answer, but why having a good pre-season?
I think it's just that rhythm again, and confidence, especially as a striker. Like as a striker, you can be playing well, but not scoring. You're getting judged for not scoring.
Yeah,
even do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could be setting people up. You could be getting hold of it. Unless if you're an out-and-out target man, you can sort of get away with it there. But if you're known for you've got to score so many goals, you're playing well, not scoring goals. You're always going to get dragged out eventually, no matter how you're playing.
It's a shame, isn't it?
This is a really tough question, this is, Marchie, but do you think that there's any particular moments or matches that you feel were turning points to get you where you are now? Is there any that stand out where you think, like, that's helped me out massively, or that's helped me out massively?
Or even a moment,
I'd
off
say
the pitch
the moment where I thought had a chance of making it into full-time football was when we played Chester away.
Okay.
Because there was like a full-time team, and there was like quite a big club in Chester, really.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And I played really well. I think I got a goal and an assist, and I missed a penalty. But like, it's mad because even when I'm missing penalties, I weren't bothered. Where I've never ever been like, I miss a penalty and be like, oh my god, I've missed, like, that's a fucking, I'm not going to score now. But that season where there was one game where I missed a penalty, got another penalty, picked the ball back up and took the penalty again. Don't think I've ever done that before. Never had the confidence to. Where that season, like, I think it might have been from Hoogie that just gave me that confidence to go and do that. I don't know, but I just felt like anything I touched would go in.
Superb.
That's class, isn't it?
What a way to be as a striker.
Nothing like it.
No.
So, like, the moment comes, you join Forest Green Rovers January 2020, midway through your season at Leamington. I want you to take us through that journey of how it all happened. So, someone listening,
COVID, or just the
signing of the signing of Forest Green.
Oh, okay.
How that happened, sort of from everything. Someone who doesn't know our signing maybe works.
So like, obviously my agent would call me saying so and so have been in touch. So I've had like 3 or 4 interests. So then I had to go and meet a few clubs, like managers or directors of footballs or whatnot, and get the gist of the club and how they run and stuff like that. I went to a Forest Green game on New Year's Day because I had a little tweak in my hamstring just on New Year's Day, so I couldn't play. I weren't going to play for Leamington, so Hoogie let me go, and instead of going to the Leamington game, let me go and watch a Forest Green game to see the setup of the club. But then obviously, so then I had to meet a few other clubs that was interested, and then almost just make a decision with my agent, with my dad, what was the best decision for me, really. But it's just like, I remember because I didn't want to leave my job because obviously it's Christmas time, so you're not at work, are you?
Yeah.
So I didn't want to tell my work before Christmas, like, look, I'm not coming back. So I remember I went into work on the 2nd because that was like the day you're back in work, and after. And I was like, look, I needed to go and meet a club on that day. So I went into work saying, look, I need today off. I need to go and meet a league, like a football league club, like the manager, see what like they're saying. And he's like, yeah, like, I was like, look, I'm leaving, but I'm not leaving just yet. I need to, like, I don't want to jinx it and not, like, everything fall through. Yeah. So he's like, oh, just do what you need to.
Was he a football bloke though?
Well, he was, but my manager weren't. But he was off at the time. But they all knew I played non-league, so I always had to have like a half a day here and there to say like, I'm playing in Darlington away on a Tuesday or something. You know what I mean? So they always knew that I've played non-league and whatnot. So they understood what was. And I was at the time I was always having to go for phone calls out the back because like a scout would call me or someone like that was saying like, what's your situation, blah blah blah. So it's almost just like go into work, tell them can I have the day off, and I'm leaving. And then left when I met a club at Services on the motorway to see what they were saying.
Typical Services.
Yeah. Then we drove back down to. We ended up at Walsall Village Hotel to grab some food. And that's where we like made a decision that it was going to be Forest Green, but it felt like a lifetime them 2 or 3 days. And then we had a bit of trouble over like contract talks, agent talks, because I was still signed up to another agent or something. Yeah. And Mike weren't technically registered as my agent, so there's a bit of trouble with that. So then I'm thinking, fucking.
And this is all like new to you. You've never experienced it, so you're like, what?
That's what I mean. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, fucking hell, this is gonna fall through here. And him, to be fair, Mike was like saying, look, it's not gonna fall through. Relax. And to be fair, he says, look, go out for a beer, turn your phone off, and just don't worry about it. No. And I went to the pub with my missus, and luckily the pub had no signal, so I could just turn my phone off and not worry about anything for like an hour and a half. And then come back, and then obviously all got sorted. But obviously the few days that are leading up to it, everyone knows you're going. My phone was just, where you going? You almost get in. You don't want to be rude to people, but you're almost like saying like, look, I don't know yet. I'm still meeting clubs. So
I can't say anything.
Or I can't say anything in case it falls through, and then you know what I mean. So it was a bit of I'd say it was more stressful than enjoyable, to be honest.
I think it's really important to have a good support network around you when times are like that.
That's why I think Mike helped me, because he said like, even like, it's so stupid. Go and have a beer and turn your phone off. Where I'm thinking, because we got an initial offer from a different club, and he was like, we'll reject it. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, nah, just I'd have accepted the first offer.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, nah, trust me, reject it. I was like, and I remember sitting in my missus' house, like literally just like I couldn't eat or nothing. I was sweating loads because I was just like stressed. So then that's when he says, go and have a beer and just chill out, and then it all got sorted in the end.
Having family and your missus and that around you as well helps loads, I suppose, as well, don't it?
Yeah, especially because like I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I'd accept the first half that got given to me. So it was tough, but it was stressful. But obviously, it's part of football. Like now, I don't really get too stressed about it. Like say I'm out of contract next summer, like that don't really stress me out at all now. So it's weird, but I suppose it's just what you're used to.
Yeah.
So you signed that dotted line for Forest Green. So stepping into the professional football now, playing as a League 2 footballer, describe your feelings and mindset now. Did anything have to change?
Yeah, I probably struggled the first, before COVID hit, really. I scored two.
Going into
yeah, so the season got cancelled.
You would have had like a month or so. Not even a month.
Nah, it would have been 3 months because it got cancelled in March.
Weren't it?
Yeah. So looking back, I was so far off the pace.
Really?
Yeah, so far off the pace. But obviously I got a few goals which give me a little bit of confidence. But I remember thinking, like, even in training, I'm thinking, fucking hell, like I'm struggling here. I felt like a non-league player, if you know what I mean. Like I've gone from almost feeling like here to signing to a bit almost having, what's the word, like imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I struggled with that a bit.
I think that's quite normal though. Especially, I feel the pressure for you from going as a non-league, and that's a big jump, by the way. How many leagues are we skipping there?
But it's two, isn't it? Yeah. 2 leagues.
And that's a big difference.
But I was so worried about, because you see so many players going to a football league for a season, and then drop back, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be one of them players that like just went there and stayed there.
Is it hard to keep yourself level-headed when you go into non-league to League 2?
In what way do you mean?
Like, in just your day-to-day life.
Because obviously your life's massively changed.
Yeah.
But it's obviously changed. So instead of getting up doing your factory job 9 to 5 or whatever, it's completely different now.
Do you think it's hard to slip into bad habits when you're not in that 9 to 5?
Not at the start, no. I'd say it's probably easier to slip into bad habits now.
Okay.
Because you're more comfortable and more set.
Okay.
Where before I need to make sure I'm doing everything properly just to get with like. We had, because Forest Green was on a bit of a bad run at the time, and we it was like I think it was like a Tuesday after training or someone. The gaffer was like, "Oh, go for some food," and then we ended up having a few beers, and I'm thinking, "Fucking hell, professional football players are drinking here." You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking, I won't do that. And I remember having one just so I didn't want to fucking, you know what I mean?
Like the odd part.
Yeah. So I had one, but and then almost like settled me because I think, they're just normal lads, really.
Yeah, normal people.
You know what I mean? But they're just obviously professional footballers.
When you went there, was there some big names there that had like dropped down or that were like established League 2 footballers?
Matt Mills was there. He was probably the biggest name.
Yeah.
But there was a few like non-league players because Forest Green was like they liked scouting non-league players. If you know what I mean. Yeah. So
I was going to say, how did the lads sort of treat you, or how were the lads when you joined, knowing that you come from non-league?
They just treated me like a normal lad, to be fair.
Yeah, and I thought that would be the answer, because I always sort of, you've probably got a mixture of people there, of maybe some that have come from the Prem, down, non-league, up. And it's like interesting.
You tend to find though the players that have been at the top are the least big time players. Like you find. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't need to prove to anyone that
they've already done it.
Their record shows for itself. You know what I mean?
How did you find the vegan food?
Was that a thing when you were there?
Yeah.
Has it always been like that for us?
Until Dale Vinces took over it.
Okay.
Some of the foods it's not bad, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like when you get it cooked properly by the chef at the ground, it's bang on. Like my family had, like, one of my first home games, they bought like a box, and obviously they all eat meat, they're not vegan, and they love the food.
Really?
Yeah. So if it's done properly, it's actually quite nice, but it needs to be done properly. Like say like me or you or the average Joe's cooking it wouldn't be the best. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Is that like mandatory then when you go in there?
You don't have to eat it, but if the club are providing for it, it has to be vegan.
Wow.
Everything within the club is like eco-friendly. So like you wouldn't have bottles of water, you'd have like cans of water.
And it's like the pitch and stuff. So
Proper no electrical, like lawnmowers and things like petrol lawnmowers and things like that.
That's crazy, that, isn't it?
It's different. Yeah.
Gets a lot of recognition, to be fair to it.
Yeah, it does.
Was it? So now we're on that topic. What were you like preparing when you were a non-league footballer? Were you like eating what you want and like before games and stuff?
I started to eat properly before games when I was at Leamington, because I thought this is a big jump now from step 3 to step 2.
Yeah.
So then I started to get into that habit of eating better. Obviously, it's hard to, when you're the calf outside your factory, it's hard to do it every day. Like
2 for 1 on a Friday.
Yeah. And I was doing the breakfast order on the Friday, so it's always like I could get a freebie. I'd add like 50p onto everyone's order and get a few quid extra.
Smart,
clever.
Yeah, love that.
So,
how was your first goal for Forest Green? Describe that feeling. Just, I know you mentioned it as a bit of a fumble one in, but describe that feeling.
It's a bit of a relief, to be honest. People say it's these big things. More of a, I've scored, like I can relax now because I've scored. Do you know what I mean?
Did you know what to do celebration-wise?
I just ran off going mad. I ran off like it was a 30-yard screamer. It was a 2-yard tapping that fell to me. But
was it at home or away?
At home as well, yeah.
So all your family were there?
Yeah, that's when they had the box
class.
and that.
Oh,
So it felt quite lucky.
Yeah,
and a lot of my mates was there as well. So
yeah, nice that is. You did get hit with an injury and you spent some time out. And you come back from injury and you did end up going on loan, didn't you?
I got injured on loan.
Okay.
So I went. So COVID hit.
Yeah.
And then the following season, I come back and I was out of it a bit. To be fair,
right.
Struggled to get into the team. I had a good pre-season, but I had an injury before the start of the season, and then the team started off really well. So I missed the first like 2 or 3 games, and then I just didn't have a chance of getting in because the team, it's like the team.
Like
set.
you mentioned,
it's so hard to get back in.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get back in. Then in January, and I ended up going for a train. Just before January, I ended up going on to train with Harrogate to see like if they were, because I weren't really a name, so they probably didn't really know a lot about me. So they wanted to almost double check on me to see like what I was about, what I was like as a lad, I suppose.
So you were still signed to Forest Green, and they'd said go and train with Harrogate.
Yeah. It was like almost like a trial. If you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
On loan.
Yeah.
And then I ended up doing really well. And then for some reason I had to come back to. I was supposed to have like 2 or 3 days up there, but then I think someone got injured at Forest Green, so then I had to go and sit on the bench at Forest Green. So then Harrogate only seen me for 1 day, but I don't, when like that's everything that I hit in training just went in again, and then that's when I ended up going on loan in January.
So what step were Harrogate at the time? Same
level.
Really?
Yeah, similar, same level. Obviously, Forest Green was pushing for playoffs, and then Harrogate we was like not fighting relegation, but we was just like mid-table, if you get what I mean. Was safe, but it was just mid-table, so that's probably why they weren't too bothered about letting me go.
Because they had some names as well coming up, didn't they? I might be wrong in saying this, but can you remember when Harrogate had John Stead?
Yeah, I played with Stead.
Really?
Yeah, he was there. He didn't really play much. He was. Yeah, but things like that, like I'd never thought I'd play with John Stead. You know what I mean? Not. I remember watching him as a kid.
He played for Cov, didn't he?
Blackburn.
Yeah.
Notts County.
I always remember.
I feel Sheffield. That was
Sheffield United. Sheffield United rings in the Prem as well. I think
he was just like a big guy. But he used to score
one of the nicest
some
blokes in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
That's even better, isn't it? Knowing that.
I remember him though, big target man, weren't he? I used to love him.
You were back at Forest Green there for the 2021 season, 22 season, weren't you? Good season for you, weren't it?
Yeah, probably one of my favourite seasons.
I was going to say, because you won promotion from League 2 to League 1.
Wow.
And you made a lot of appearances in that season for him, didn't you? Did you feel then that season, I felt
like a proper League 2 player that season.
Yeah.
That felt like where I established myself as a football league player, if you get what I mean.
What do you think it was? Just good pre-season, having that experience?
I had a decent pre-season, but then I got COVID before the season starts.
Oh, right.
So then I missed the first 2 or 3 games of the season again.
Okay.
Because I made a lot of appearances, but I didn't start that many.
Okay.
But that's because, to be fair, the strikers was literally scoring every week. So I couldn't really. I was coming on pretty much every game, but because I was scoring every week, you can't. I wouldn't want to be dropped if I was scoring every week. You know what I mean? So I sort of almost accepted it for what it is. Felt massive part of it because I'm coming on every game. I'm almost like I was finishing. Like they'd score, one of the lads would come off, and I'd finish the game to see the game out. If you know what I mean?
It's sort of like that. No, that Leicester season with Ranieri.
Yeah,
always made the same substitutions.
That's what I mean. That's what it was like. It's like say if we win in 70 minutes, get Martial.
Yeah,
that's what it was. And
you knew when you were
Rob
coming
Edwards, he's makes everyone. He's very good at making everyone feel part of it.
Who was the manager? Sorry,
Rob Edwards.
Oh wow, the manager.
So he's been mentioned on the last couple of episodes.
He was mentioned by Jazz. Jazz Singh had him at Telford.
Did he?
Yeah.
Such a nice bloke.
How did you? Yeah, just
him and Richie. Kyle was like, who's the assistant at the time.
It's amazing to see where he's come from, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Telford for a little bit, Forest Green.
Yeah, well, he knows Hughie, don't he?
Yeah.
That's how Hughie told me a few weeks before he got announced that he was getting the job.
Amazing, isn't it?
So, I remember that Jazz said though that he was too. How can I say it?
Nice.
Not too nice, but he was above the level that he was.
Yeah.
Like he was trying to get these non-league players to try and like.
Non-league's a totally different kettle of fish.
Yeah, so that level sort of suits him, and the high level sort of suits him.
100%. Every day would be like shape work and that.
Really?
Yeah, it was like the training was. I enjoy doing shape.
Did he help you a lot?
Oh yeah.
In your game?
Yeah, like he'd always like talk to you and that. He'd probably talk to the players that weren't playing or starting more than the players that was playing, you know what I mean? But that's how it should be, I think, because you don't need to keep the players happy that are playing, because they're happy they're playing. So you don't need to talk to them. Obviously, you have to talk to them about tactics and that, but other than that, you don't need to talk to them.
Yeah, fair play.
Where he'd always pull lads that were like that was on the bench or was out the squad, and he made everyone feel like loved, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's fair.
When you're coming from non-league into league football, Marchie, were you one of these players that would stay behind at training and practice a little bit more, or
can you really?
No.
Nah, because like you've got a pitch an hour, and then you've got to get off because Karen or what the name's got to come on the pitch. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's still
you got the third of a pitch on the Astra,
so
you get kicked off at like 8:00. So
what about when you moved up to league football though? So obviously, did you have your own facilities there?
Yeah. You would do a bit, but it's I struggled, to be honest, because my body was in pain from the step up and the pace of the game. I remember because I went from Leamington, where I actually had a little injury, to going straight into training the first day, to having like 7 days off with a little tweak in my hamstring, to having a 4 weeks training and playing on the Saturday. So I physically couldn't do any extra because I felt fucked. I was having to have like an ice bath and get on the Normatex. One of the lads who I was sharing a apartment with had a Normatec. I'd have to get on the Normatec like 3 or 4 times on the night just to try and get through it for the next day in training, because my legs was in bits. Jeez. I couldn't move, honestly. I was in a pickle.
Talk about the celebrations though. Obviously promotion, massive. You've obviously...
I don't remember half of them. They had about 3 celebrations. Really? When we got promoted, when we won the league, and one in between it.
Jeez. How was it? Yeah,
it was decent. We had so when we got promoted was first. We went out, everyone, even the staff, went out in Cheltenham, and it was quite it was a bit leery like.
So it would be though.
Yeah, it was a good laugh, and then all the lads poled into this, like it was like in this bar, and then all the lads poled into like the nightclub after it in Cheltenham, and all the staff like filtered off a bit. And we had a game on the Tuesday, and no one could move. Still on the Tuesday, it was all fucked.
All danced out.
Yeah, and then we ended up. The gaffer gave us, because it was bank holiday, I think it was. So he gave us the Monday off. So then all the lads went out. We all went out in, I think it was Cardiff. We all went out in.
Okay.
All day.
Good night out as well, Cardiff.
I think it must have been Cardiff. I think.
Doesn't remember it. Must have been good.
We ended up in prison. So
my God.
So we've been.
I've heard about the place.
It's a terrible place. It's shocking. We've been in this like brunch on the afternoon. So like we've met at 12 in the afternoon, like. So then we've at this brunch from about 3 till 7, and obviously it's all like house music, R&B. So then a few of the lads are like all our R&B'd out. We want something different. We want something like cheese or something.
Yeah.
And obviously we're all steaming, and was like, oh, prison would do something cheesy.
Yeah.
It was the least cheesy music I've ever been in. It was full of like 17-year-olds, and we was all sat there on the table like, what are we doing in here?
Yeah.
Like, get me out of here. But we ended up staying and just making like, one of them shit nights that are
turn good.
Yeah. It's like a funny, bad, funny, good night. You know what I mean?
The last prison I went to was in Nottingham, and it had like all the different rooms. Like for
that's what it's meant.
For like
that's what it was.
Types it had like another level.
Yeah, there was this place in Swindon that like a lot of the boys live around Swindon. I used to live in Gloucester, where there's this place called Tree, and it was a bit like that, where one room's like R&B and the other room's like cheese, like where you get like your sing-alongs.
Yeah,
and all the lads used to love the sing-along room.
Yeah,
so we always used to pile in. We always go out in Swindon and pile in the cheesy room. So then when we're all pissed up and giddy, it's like we all want some cheesy songs. And then we ended up in prison, and it was just fucking shit show.
I think that also goes on into the changing room as well. I always find it hilarious, especially when I've got the lads down here and you walk into the changing rooms and they're playing some, really like hard music that's like, you know, that you'd expect a boxer to walk out to, but then you always find that you get the better performances when you're walking in there listening to Westlife or S 7. Do you know what I mean? It's
you had a few jams to Mamma Mia.
How did you find going into League One then?
It's got to be different, surely.
Yeah, it is. I really enjoyed League One. I really like the manager as well, Ian.
Because Rob left.
Yeah, he went to Watford, so he sort of.
Yeah, that was that big move. Yeah, went from there to Watford. Yeah.
So it was sort of. It was a tough season team-wise, but I felt like I was playing quite well in League One. Almost probably, I felt like I had a better season in League One than I've ever had in League Two. I know obviously the team was struggling, but I felt like I was doing well personally. So it was tough, but I was quite enjoying it at the same time. Like I didn't really want to leave in January when I did. Yeah, so I got forced out a bit.
Yeah, so talk about that. Obviously, you do leave and you join Stevenage in January to go back down to League Two.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, there was forced out a bit, and you felt you were having a good season. What happened there? Why was that move?
Well, there's a new director coming at Forest Green because the old one left to go Portsmouth. So it was a new, and he almost wanted a lot of the lads out that had previously been there.
Right. So you sort of wanted a fresh,
clean slate, which is it's up to them. Like I was saying, like I'm happy to stay, but if you want me to go, like I'll go. And then obviously I knew Sweens at one of the lads at Stevenage, and
Dan Sweeney.
Yeah.
You know what's a mad story about Dan Sweeney? So I like Football Manager.
Yeah.
I was doing an Eton Borough save, and I signed Dan Sweeney as a centre back. Unreal.
Incredible.
Yeah,
won us the league, mate.
Good lad as well.
So
Sweeney's good.
If he listens to this, mate, you were my signing on. You were my captain.
Yeah.
Highest paid player.
I was going to say you
corners,
chuck
free
some
kicks,
wedge
penalties.
You stuck with me up until League One, mate. So yeah.
Superb.
Yeah, so and that's why I ended up going. It's all right. That's why I ended up going there because of him. So.
That's fair.
But it's
another good club though, Stevenage.
Yeah. I enjoyed it, Stevenage.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
Well, you must have enjoyed it because it happened again, didn't it?
Yeah, it's just a shame I got another injury again, really, which killed the season, killed the end of the season a bit.
How was it going into a group halfway through the season?
It was tougher than I thought, to be fair, because that, like again, the change room was so good. Yeah. So it's actually hard to come into a good changing room. Do you know what I mean? When you're not already involved in it. So it's quite tough because you almost need to just try and filter in, if you get what I mean, and find the dynamic. But got there eventually, and I enjoyed it there.
One thing that I wanted to ask you is when you went up to League One and you played in League One, did you ever come up against anyone and thought, fucking hell, I'm playing against, that you ever watched as a kid or that you ever heard of? Or
well, maybe not players, but Barry Bannon probably one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because obviously being a Villa fan.
Yeah.
And I thought Barry Bannon was slow, but
is he not?
Nah, he's rapid.
Really?
Well, I don't know if it's because his first 3 yards are in his head, but he's quick.
They rave about him, don't they? They say like technically and stuff, he's just a joke.
Oh, he's so good.
Really?
And even so he played Derby, and obviously David McGoldrick.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of the best performances I've ever seen in a single game.
Really?
Frightening.
Another one that I can't imagine to be.
But that's what I mean. Like you don't. Obviously, he's had a very unreal career.
Yeah.
But like, in my head, I wouldn't be like, he's going to be like a world beating. But honestly, the things he was doing, it was 5-0 down. I felt like just standing there and applauding him.
Yeah.
Because he was like ridiculous how good he was. But I suppose that's the levels, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Josh, what does a typical training week look like for you?
So if you play on a play on a Saturday, say if you play 60, you'll go in on a Monday and do like a recovery session outside where you just get a feel of the balls and a nice light jog or like a few sprints and just basically tick over, keep the legs moving.
Okay. And because you've only played 60?
Well, yeah, 60 onwards like.
Oh, okay.
So if you play 90, it's the same.
Yeah.
But if you play anything less, you'll probably do it like a full session.
Oh, okay.
So like the lads who don't start or play enough minutes will have like a top-up session where it's like either small sideds or possessions.
Okay.
After like the lads go in or have like a foam roll or a massage and things like that. Tuesday either you might have a game, but if you don't have a game, you'll have like everyone's like a big session where you'll either do shape or they'll put on a different type of session where it's just like you get your high loading and your high intensity working. Wednesday's off. Thursdays is another big session, maybe not as big as a Tuesday session, but still fairly big, where you might do a bit more tactical work and obviously Tuesdays and Thursdays will be gym sessions, so you do like obviously be in the gym after training or before training and do like testing and things like that. And then Friday will be like a little, almost like maybe a top up on shape or a mess around, if you know what I mean, like a small sided game, and just to get the legs working, but not
bit of team building.
Yeah,
as well.
a bit of a laugh, get like you nice and relaxed for the Saturday game.
So when you say gym session, now obviously when I think of gym session, I'm thinking of going in there, lifting as heavy as you can. Is it not like that?
Nah, it's more about, obviously you do lift like leg wise, you still have to lift fairly like what you can, but you'll do a lot of plyometric works where it's like jumps, explosive work, so it's all a bit more football based, because you don't really need to lift as a bodybuilder.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's not, bodybuilding's built for bodybuilding. There's a difference with being explosive and on a pitch than just banging loads of weights, you get what I mean? 'Cause that's what I used to do when I was at Leamington, just fucking go in there and just...
So when you see these footballers then that are all absolutely tanked out their heads...
Half it's probably just fucking natural or body weight.
Do you
a lot
think?
of them will do body weight, yeah.
So do you think that... I don't know.
They'll still probably bang weights.
But do you think they'd be advised not to? Or
they didn't Traore get
that's
told.
What I mean.
Some of them probably don't even do gym. Some of them have a set thing.
He says his is natural.
Yeah.
That's a load
that
of
can't be
bollocks,
natural. Nah, you can't be that big and natural.
No
be
way.
natural.
But you see some of them and you think like when I think of gym sessions, but then I'm a sucker for YouTube, and I watch things inside training and stuff like
I
that.
love them,
and they're in the gym, and they've literally got like 10 kg on each
side.
Yeah,
it's all about power and explosiveness, like you say. Like you don't really need to lift heavy weights.
Right. Okay.
I love the England inside. You know, it's funny how I watch them getting out of cars.
Yeah,
it's mad, isn't it? The arrival.
You sit there for 15 minutes in bed, like
just watching them up. He's pulled up in a black
Merc.
Who's it going to be?
I love that Lions Den. I do. You seen that
Josh
Lions
Denzel.
Den?
Yeah.
Where it's the guy from Love Island, Josh
Denzel. Yeah, he's cracked it.
Yeah, he has made massively, and he's like.
There's like fun things.
Stuff. He just asks some questions.
Plays pool and that, don't he?
Yeah. They do the pool thing. It's really good. That is. I enjoy it. Really good.
But yeah, Stevenage, they finished second in the league and win a promotion, so second one for you. How did you feel on this one? Was it a bit different to the Forest Green one?
Yeah, because I didn't feel as much as part of it. I mean, because after about 10 games, I ruptured my ankle, so I was out for the season. Yeah. So I felt like a bit like it almost weren't my promotion. Like I didn't really deserve it, if you get what I mean. Even though I was there to play 10 games still. I didn't feel like it was like I obviously I contributed, but I wouldn't say I massively contributed, if you get what I mean.
Yeah,
as much as I did with Forest Green.
When you spoke about Wednesdays having days off, Marchie, what would your typical day off be like?
Well, now I've got my little one on Wednesday, so it'd be a bit different. But normally it'd be like, I'd either go take the dog for a walk, just stretch the legs out, or sometimes maybe a bit of golf.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say it.
I'm not very good, like.
No,
but I hack my way around, but sometimes it would be golf.
Yeah. Would you find yourself spending time with the lads, or would it be just, now this is me on my own? And
I think it depends where you are.
Okay.
Because, like, for me now, obviously, I'm miles away from the lads, so I ain't really going to spend time with them. But say, like, at Forest Green, a lot of the lads was quite close. So I'd be more likely to go and have a game of golf with them, or go and meet them for a coffee, you know what I mean? Because obviously they've moved away from all their mates and their families. So you're all in the same predicament, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So it depends, like, where you're based, really, I'd say.
Okay. All of the incredible achievements up until now you've done, which are absolutely on me. I'm sat here and I'm fucking loving this. Like, how do you reflect on them? And like and you must look back on where you've come from and be proud of what you've achieved.
I don't think I reflect at the minute.
No.
I feel like I'm still in the moment.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've got to earn that next contract, like, I've still, in my head, I've still got things I want to do in football. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't think you ever have time to reflect.
Or it's not your moment to reflect.
It's not my moment at the minute.
And that's fair enough.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I probably wouldn't say.
But you're proud of what you've achieved so far.
Yeah, I think you've always got to be, no matter what you do, if you work in a factory, I think you've got to be, got to be happy with yourself, because as long as you sit in a job, it's a job at the end of the day. As much as we all love football, it's a job.
Yeah.
So, but obviously, I wouldn't say I really reflect on what I've done at the minute. My focus is, for me, it's current and second, is being fit for the coming season and hopefully score as many goals as I can for the next season.
And earn that new contract.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're out of a job next year without, like, when you put it in like terms like that, like, I ain't got a job next year.
You don't seem stressed about it though.
No, you, whatever happens. I think
that's from where you've come from.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think like we've spoken about it already. I think you understand the real world,
yeah.
You understand, Whereas there's probably players who don't understand that yet. And
absolutely.
So it's a very tough one. But so still at Stevenage, and then you signed a new contract with Stevenage.
Yeah.
You started the season with them.
Yeah.
But then you joined Harrogate in September 2023.
Yeah.
What happened there? To sign a new contract at Stevenage and then a month later, 2 months later, join Harrogate.
It's so weird. I probably didn't think I was really going to play at Stevenage.
Okay.
Because like that, I was struggling with injuries. Like, I was constantly fighting my body. And sometimes you just feel like this club is like a bit of a jinx, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, even the director of football said it to me. Like, they sound, they could be lying, but they seem like they quite like me there. And he was just saying, I just think we're this club for you where you just can't get fit. And I was like, to be honest, I think you're probably right.
Okay.
So then I ended up going to Harrogate, obviously.
So just like almost time there.
And that's part of the reason why I went back there, is because I know what the club was like. I know a few of the lads there. I haven't got to settle in as much. And hopefully I can play as many games as possible, because I did, like I say, you're all right being in League One, but if you're not going to play, you might as well not be there. And I've always played wherever I've been, pretty much. Yeah. So I didn't want to sit around and waste a season where I can go to Harrogate and go and play games.
So how did you find that then, going back to there, finishing out the season there? How was that for you?
To be honest, quite tough, because I had a bit of a niggly season with injuries. Fighting my body quite a lot, which was a bit of a ball ache.
Have you had to learn how to manage your body a lot better?
Still struggle with it today, to be honest.
I'm
like a hyperactive kid, whereas you know what I mean. I can't just go through the motions in training where everything's 100%. If you know what I mean.
What do you think it is? What do you think you keep picking up these?
I don't know. It's just.
Is it reoccurring?
Well, I feel like, because I've had one niggle, you're fighting fitness. So then you're pushing your body even more. You haven't had the pre-season that you wanted, so then you're almost always chasing your fitness. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
And there's always a saying, sort of, well, we've said it in non-league, is that you're never 100% fit.
Nah.
There's always something. There's always something that you're playing with.
That's really, it must be stressful for the body, because you pick up something, then you
think you don't want to miss a day.
Exactly.
Because then you're further out the team, so then you're pushing your body even more. So then it's just like a big circle.
It's hard, that is, man. Because you just want to wake up one day and think,
be
right,
pain-free.
I'm okay.
Yeah, but then you train and you're not fucking. I feel fucked now. Do you know what I mean? But then the next day you feel alright again. So it's like it's hard.
Do you think that if you signed a bigger, well, not bigger, but a big contract, it'd put you at ease more? So, like, if they said to you, right, we want to sign you on a free
nah, because I think you still want to play football.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't really think about the contract side.
Okay.
I think about, I want to be there on a Saturday and try and fucking score a goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I don't
Fair
really...
play.
So then I end up, say, like, the team was doing well, and I'm on the bench, so, like, I'm in pain a bit, where I don't want to be further away from the team, because... if like they do well and say like the striker's not doing it, I need to be there ready to play, if you know what I mean? Where I'm not really letting my body heal properly, probably.
So let's talk about this season coming up then. So obviously you guys finished 13th last year. I think so, yeah. Which isn't bad.
Nah.
You know, a tough league. What are your personal aims? And I don't know if you could talk on behalf of Harrogate, but what are the aims for next year?
I think for the team, I think it'd be nice if we can have a little playoff push.
Yeah.
Because we was in and around it for a while last season, and we just sort of fell off a bit towards the end. So I think for the team, it would be having a proper playoff push.
Yeah.
I think we can. Because we, like you say, we weren't far off last year. I think it was the start of the season. I think it was just a bit of belief. And I think now we've almost pushed there. I think the lads will believe more. And I think personally, it's just start as many games as possible, stay injury free. I've tried not to put too much pressure on myself with goal tallies. So I feel like you do. Say if I give myself 15 goals, for example, you don't get one for the first 2 or 3 months. You're thinking, I'm fucking
chasing.
You're chasing then. So now, like that's what I was doing last season. I was chasing that first goal for Harrogate instead of just relaxing. Do you know what I mean? So I was snatching at chances. Where if my space for next season will be just go there, play games, enjoy it, stay injury free, and whatever happens, will happen.
And it's fair to say that that's probably when you've been most prolific, isn't it? When you've just chilled.
Nothing in your brain.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And
I think that's a learn for you as well.
Yeah, you're always learning.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like I'll be the first one to say I struggled last season goals wise. So that's I think you just got to be open and honest with yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
This isn't on here, but I want to ask you. Wrexham and Notts County. How was that? Because obviously they come from...
Notts County didn't get the ball.
Really?
I just fucking passed it. Everything was pass. So it was a blur, and I think I got dragged off after 60.
Yeah.
So I was fucked.
Yeah.
So that weren't great, but the Wrexham games was good.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I played quite well in both the games.
Did you play? You played away, is it?
Yeah, and I started both games as well.
So
that was good, and I think we competed well. Where the Notts County was a bit poor. Like the home one, I only played like 2 or 3 minutes, and we won. That was poor when we played them at home, but when we played them away, fucking hell, they did bop it.
It's crazy when you say that, though, isn't it? Because obviously Wrexham got promoted again, and Notts County probably didn't finish as high as they wanted to.
They started off really well.
Wrexham are more of a League Two club at the time, because it's mad, because Notts County, that all they did was pass. So if they're having an off day on passing, they've got nothing else. Where Wrexham can pass and can go long, and I think that's where probably Notts County didn't get promoted on, because they couldn't just go boof when you need to, because there was literally, when I was saying playing every time, there was passing every time, and it was like even I was saying to the centre half, I said, fuck me, will you lot stop passing it? So I'm fucked up here. So I was on my own fucking chasing 3 centre halves like a fucking...
Do you have a little bit of a little bit mind game with the centre half, a little nibble, a little comment?
Depends. Sometimes I talk to them if they're sound, I'll just talk to them like normal. But if they're giving it a bit, I'll give a bit back. But I'm not one to.
That's fair.
Say if they're having themselves a bit, like they'll probably give me one, then I'll probably give them one back, or just something like that. I'm not really.
It's funny though, isn't it?
Just keep myself to myself.
That's crazy that you say that though, obviously, because Wrexham made some huge signings as well, didn't they? Like James McLean was a big
they said
signing.
he weren't fit. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
He was everywhere.
Running, does he? And then you had
Stephen Fletcher.
Fletcher.
I don't think he played against us.
Arthur Okolonko. Is that how you say it? Kawanko?
The keeper.
The keeper, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he signed permanently.
Yeah, just the other day, didn't he?
How have Arsenal not crazy. Crazy. Looking back on your journey, I know it's not finished yet.
Yeah, we've established that.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Is there anything you wish you would have known a bit earlier, though, to help you?
Probably have a bit more belief a bit earlier, I'd say.
That's fair enough.
Because even though it probably helped me, maybe doing the right things away from the game probably would have been, maybe got there a bit earlier. You don't know, obviously, it's all hindsight, isn't it?
But you still have to, do you know
what I mean? So I didn't really dedicate myself properly until I reached Leamington, and maybe towards the back end of step 3 season with Alvechurch, where I didn't really like. I'd have a Chinese and kebab on that on a Friday before games and that, and I was fucking blowing on Saturdays. But that I probably would say maybe have a bit more self-belief early on in my career.
I think this next question is going to be very good, because just getting the vibe off you, and I don't want to put pressure on you for this question now to come up with a good answer, but I just think the way that you've put yourself across here, I think that you're going to give some really good advice here. So what advice would you give to younger players looking to make it into professional football? So they would have been quite similar to you in your position, coming from non-league. What advice would you give them? Don't
chase the tracksuit.
That's it. Perfect.
I feel like lads go to a Stourbridge, you know what I mean, House Owen, don't play games, but they've got a nice tracksuit on.
And I know you're not bullshitting, because the whole time you've sat here and spoke, you've not mentioned anything about an extra 20 quid here or these came in for me. You've rejected offers.
When I was at Leamington, I had a team come in for me like illegally as it is that offered me double the amount of money. And I says no, I ain't leaving, because the end goal was to get. Granted, it was I not knew, but I had a glimmer of hope that I was going to make it to full-time football.
Did you have them conversations with Paul Holloran, where he sort of said, I'm going to get you to the Football League?
Well, there was one
because
where
obviously he's done it with
there was a full-time team
come
in the same league as us,
in
National League North, and like they made an
offer.
Filed? No, it was Kiddie,
okay, yeah.
So they come in, and he pulled me in and says, look, if you want to go, I won't stand in your way, but trust me, stay and you'll get a bigger and better offer. And I says, all right, then I'll stay. And then that was literally it.
He's done it throughout his management career.
I didn't question, I didn't say this, that. I just went, all right, and sound. And literally that was the conversation. He was like, all right, then crack on. And then I just went on and trained, and then
fair play, mate.
He's still doing it to this day. Oogie is.
He's got a knack of it. I don't know what he does.
Ewan Williams, next one.
Keep your eye on that name.
Next one.
We had him down here.
Yeah, good.
He scored the winner in the Ewan Williams scored the winner in the playoff final against Telford.
Oh, did he? Was that him?
That's him.
Is he centre half?
No.
Midfield.
So this is crazy, right? So I'll never ever forget it, and I've said this on here before.
He lives over the road.
Yeah, he just literally lives over there. So when we had pre-season, he came in, and my brother was the manager down here, along with a great guy called Ross Innes, and they were joint managers. And Ewan came with a bunch of other lads, and he come from that Strachan Academy.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it. My brother went to him, "Where'd you play, Ewan?" I don't really know, just midfield or anything.
Whatever.
Mate, you have fucking never seen anything like it. We played him in the 4 at 16, 17 years old, and he was battering people, mate.
Hoodie and Gudget behind him.
Oh, yeah, calling him Eugene all the time. And then,
that's a right pair behind him, though.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Honestly, they absolutely hounded him. And then he went and signed for Cosil,
yeah.
Played in the 10, and then he got moved from Cosil to Leamington.
Played him up front.
In the 10.
In the 10.
Or an 8.
Yeah.
So, but he's just...
Fair play to
he's
him.
A name to watch.
He's gone from playing again, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, he's doing similar moves to you.
Yeah.
He's going...
He's playing everywhere he's playing.
He's not chasing the tracksuit.
And that's the thing, and he won't mind me saying, because I get on with him really well. I'm not saying he's a thick lad, but he's just one of them that he doesn't really care, he just wants to play.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
I know how he is.
And then there's another one, Callie Stewart, as well.
Yeah.
He's another one that he's got from lower league and he's bringing up, and he's just got a knack for it, Oogie, hasn't he?
It's mad.
He's got loads of them.
Thank you, Josh, for doing this. It's been absolutely amazing, mate. Honestly, it's a story I've wanted to know for a while.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
because I've always had you. I've always looked out for you when you're playing.
Cheers, mate.
You know, especially when I was at the bar, I was physio and stuff like that, and just knowing your name and at Leamington and whatnot, and being close to there, and I saw you move, and I always used to check on there, see if you played.
So
I have my players who I look at.
Mate, you're not the only one, honestly.
I have my
it's
players.
man, what you do, what football does to I still check all non-league scores who I got no players who are and that whatnot.
So it's always nice to see how the local ones are getting on.
Yeah, definitely.
They get a move, 100%.
So yeah, I've high hopes for what you're going to achieve, mate. I don't think it's finished yet.
No
way.
At
all, mate. At all.
Fingers crossed.
So we're going to go on some quick fires. So I'm going to kick off. Best player you've played with?
Strictly non-league, or
you can pick a couple, mate.
Yeah.
Non-league, football league.
I'll do one of each then.
Yeah, go on. Then.
I'll probably say Ebu Adams. I'd probably say with.
Who's that?
He's at Cardiff at the minute, I think.
Okay.
He's just like not technically. Well, he's technically good, but athletically.
Yeah.
Where did you play with him?
At Forest Green. He's frightening. Well, or to be fair, Kane Wilson. That season he had at Forest Green was probably one of the best seasons I've had someone have. It's getting literally assist every other game from right back.
What about non-league?
Non-league, I'd probably Carts. I think Carts has been, obviously he's had a good non-league career, and
is that which one?
Ashley Carter.
Ash Carter,
yeah. I think he probably should have played higher than he has. Being honest, obviously he's a great lad as well, but he's a top centre half. He's Diags. His left foot was frightening. I've never seen that's the first person I've seen a player strike ball so clean.
Can you think of a lot of players? I know these are quick fires, but they always drag on.
They always drag on.
Can you think of a lot of players, or know of players where you go, mate, you could play in League 2, League 1? And you've said to them and said, mate, why are you not pushing to do this?
Dedication, though, and some people don't want it. So it's... And some people almost sometimes think they're better than they are as well, which don't help. So they think like they ain't got to do the nitty gritty side. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
That's half the battle sometimes. The nitty gritty side. You've got the talent, but just graft a bit, and then you'll be fine.
Fair enough.
There's a lot of players that ain't non-league, to be fair.
Yeah.
Bit different this one, Josh. 3 people, past or present, that you would like to spend a night with.
The first one popped up to my mind was Jack Grealish.
Yeah, he'd be class.
He'll be a fucking party animal, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
From your neck of the woods as well.
Second one. It's going to probably be all football players, to be honest.
That's fine, mate.
Messi, I'd say, because obviously.
Yeah.
Messi over Ronaldo.
And his translator as well. You'll have to bring his translator.
And probably I'll show Speed, because I think Speed's funny as fuck.
Oh mate. I love that.
Do you watch those YouTube charity matches?
Nah, not really. But every time I go on Twitter and Speed comes up, I end up watching it, and I'll get into a hole with Speed. I think
he's a bit annoying, but he is funny.
Yeah, he's like that annoying little brother, isn't he?
Yeah.
What's that thing he did with the Sidemen where it's like 20
dates
versus 1?
Yeah, 20 dates. Oh, mate.
He's funny as fuck on that.
Oh, no, yeah.
And then the charity matches for the side.
Yeah, and he takes out Cat.
Yeah.
I just find him so funny. It's so childish.
Yeah.
So childish. I shouldn't really like him, really.
Yeah.
What about favourite TV series or programme? What would you like to enjoy?
TV series. I probably the first thing comes to mind again was probably Narcos.
I've not watched that yet.
It's good. You have to pay attention to it though.
Yeah. Got to read it.
Yeah, I'd probably say I like my crime
Class
and drugs.
houses.
Yeah. Like Power was good, but then it went a bit too far. Yeah. It went a bit too far for me. Then I lost track of it.
What do you do on coach journeys? Are you in the middle, in the lads Uno, watching a film?
Harrogate, to be fair, I just talk, but
Yeah.
a few of the other places we used to play like poker and that.
Yeah, okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Lose your wages before you already get them.
To be fair, it's a bit dangerous. You got a bit dangerous sometimes.
Big pots going.
Yeah.
Cheat day, Josh. Your favourite takeaway?
Probably go chippy, you know.
Yeah.
Because you can have so many different things. You can have fish, you can have kebab.
Yeah.
You can have...
Look at the smile on his face.
Yeah.
He loves
I
it.
mean, it's because I had one on the weekend. That's why I thought. Yeah, I'd say Chippy's just because of the variety.
Love that.
What about the best player you've played against? Best player you've come against? They give you a torrid time. Or you've just gone, fucking hell, wow.
I'll probably just say David McGourk for that one performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was almost just stood there and applauded him.
Take it.
Yeah.
Idol, growing up, Marchie, did you have one?
I used to love Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
Because, like, into that 2004 tournament, I think I'd have been in, like, 6, 7 or something like that. And me and my dad and family friends, we all went to Euro 2004.
Wow, class.
And, like, Rooney was like the star, wasn't
It's
he?
the only good tournament he had.
Yeah.
But you find out later on in life now when he talks about it, and he said he was injured in all the rest of it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I used to love Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
Best manager you played for? Tough one, because obviously you've had some cracking managers.
Yeah, you've said some good ones already.
You can name a couple if you want, just to sort of, for different reasons.
I'll keep it obviously strictly non-league. Probably say P and Hughie for totally different reasons.
Different managers, don't they?
Yeah. P give me the grounding, and Hughie give me the belief and the confidence.
Yeah, love that, mate.
Yeah. Two top people in life.
Absolutely.
Mate, definitely.
Another different one. Biggest name in your phone book?
My phone books and there's no
good.
No good. Absolutely zero in there.
Really?
There's a few like lower league players.
Yeah.
There's like a David Davis, but he's played for Blues. But other than that, other than that, I ain't really got
Dan
no.
Sweeney. That's what
Or Sweens, I'll go Sweens.
Yeah.
Okay.
My boy.
I ain't got no. Well, to say Rob Edwards, to be fair, he was a Premier League manager. Rob Edwards.
Do you have any superstitions at all? 4 games and that?
Nah, not one for maybe a Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Yeah, other than that, but I wouldn't say that's a stupid. Like if I don't have one before a game, I won't be. And I need to go and get a Red Bull from somewhere. It's just because I like the taste of them.
Yeah.
So I'm not really try to keep away from it, to be honest. Because if you don't get it done, then you're in your own head. Then.
Yeah. Can you remember the first ever live game you went to?
The first ever live game I remember was Villa v Blues. Dion Dublin headbutt.
On Robbie Savage?
Yeah.
Really?
What a first game that is, by the way.
I'd have gone to more before that because I had a season ticket, but that's the first game I properly remember. Obviously for that reason.
Yeah.
And it was like Derby, I remember being scared.
Really?
Yeah, because of obviously how tasty the derbies. And I was only that was like 2003 or something. So I mean 6.
Jeez.
It's been a long time since there's been a Blues Villa derby.
I know. Well, I went to the one that Grealish got hit.
Oh yeah.
That was the last one.
That was a good day.
Must have been the last one. Yeah.
Fucking steaming.
Yeah, I'll bet you were.
Do you remember your first pair of football boots you had?
This is one of my favourite questions. This is
the first pair I remember having was obviously I think I had some before this again, but I don't remember them. I remember asking for Thierry Henry's. Remember the old Vapors, the white, but I never got them, and I was fuming.
Yeah.
And I ended up with some with like red Puma Kings. And I was fuming, and my dad, because obviously I wanted like white and gold, so my mum and dad got me like a bit of colour on them. Yeah, they weren't Puma Kings, but that was like it's the easiest way to explain them was like they're like red Puma Kings.
Them Vapor ones that you're on about, were they the white ones with the red stripes on the side?
Nah, there was white, like pretty much all white with maybe like a black stripe, like a real thin, with a gold heel. Yeah, you might remember for like R9, like the old Vapors.
They were lovely, they were.
Yeah.
What type of boot are you now?
To be fair, I don't really like the boots nowadays.
No,
I've just bought the new Tempos, and they're nice.
No boot deal?
I could do one. They're expensive nowadays, boots are.
Yeah, aren't they?
I buy to be honest, I buy the old Mercs. I try off pages off Instagram. I don't really not keen on the new boots. So I'll go like old.
The material, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm a bit funny, but I've tried to go to Adidas, can't go to Adidas. Tried to go to a different type of Nike, can't do it. I've always been. So I'm trying Tempos this year. I do like the feel of them so far. The few times I've worn them, I've only been running.
Do you go through quite a few boots?
Yeah. Probably probably like 4 a season, 5 a season. Fucking 260 quid a pop.
Yeah. Jesus.
I know.
Favourite holiday destination?
Any part of Greece.
Yeah, man.
I feel like you can't go wrong with Greece. I'm past the partying now.
Yeah,
I'm
mate.
too old for it. I can't deal with the 2-day hangovers.
Nice little family.
Nice little family one in Greece. Quiet one.
Fair play. What about best team night out?
That I've been on, or like
Best
City, or like
No, that you've been on. So whether that's non-league, football league.
the went out on Christmas Day in Manchester with Forest Green. It was carnage. Like, I can't really recite what half the stuff that was going on.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
But booking out like booths and that though.
Yeah, there was like people throwing the urinal things around.
Oh my god!
Shit, horrible stuff like that. Throwing ice cubes.
Yeah.
One of the lads had a bloody gashed eye, and he instead of going to the hospital, he just stuck a plaster, off the man in the toilet, got a plaster and just stuck it on. And there's a gash about that, that big on his eye.
You see a different side sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, they're just normal blokes, really.
Yeah, but I also think, is it because they
probably don't get out as much?
Or they don't get out, they've not experienced it, they've not drank as much.
Mate, I've seen so many stories over the past couple of weeks since we've not done the pod and we've had this little break. I felt like I've been watching watching a lot, sorry. I'll tell you the most interesting one I've seen. Matty Everington.
Oh, is that on Under the Cosh?
Where he's on about his gambling addiction.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
Mate, crazy. Absolutely
it's easy
crazy.
to do, especially nowadays on your phone and that.
Yeah,
it's mad, isn't it?
Like, just
It's
absolutely
not like real,
mad.
especially like the money they're on. It's not real money to them, is it?
No, and he was like at the pinnacle of his career and he was doing really well. And he was like, on the other end of it, his personal life was a mess.
Yeah.
Like, crazy, mate, crazy.
Do you have like people at the clubs to sort of give you that advice when stepping into?
To be fair, Harrogate
like
had a psychologist. To be
that's
fair,
good.
But but you got the PFA. So if you are struggling with it, you can go to the PFA union, and now like you get like 23 sessions or something. Like they sort you out if you've got like an addiction like that.
We've just always,
PFA is quite good.
Yeah, we've had some stories about the PFA that have been really good.
They looked after people.
Yeah, definitely. We've always said like there's this. I feel there's something missing between helping players who come out of contract or get released from academies, and there's this safety blanket.
That's what the PFA is good for. It's a good union to be in, to be fair. Especially for like when you retire as well, because say if like I come out and go non-league and get a bad injury, I can claim once on the PFA and they sort it for me or something like that.
We had a guest on, didn't we, who had to go through multiple operations through the PFA, and they helped him out massively.
That's what I mean. You'll be able to afford to if not, because it'd
be crazy, wouldn't it?
Or the waiting list for the NHS would be you won't be able to play by the time
all the footballers queuing up for the NHS. Fucking mad, isn't it? Marty, thank you so much. Thanks been
for having me.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing your journey. I'd say it's inspiring, it's inspirational, it's something that people are going to listen to who are in the non-league game going, what a story. And it's not over yet, mate, as we've said. So we wish you all the best for next season. We are going to go watch a game. We're going to go.
We are
trying to sort out some tickets.
Whether that's at Harrogate,
drop us a message,
or whether that's somewhere around here, maybe a bit more local.
Well, we've got Warsaw, haven't we?
Warsaw. We want to come and support you, mate, massively.
Let us know, and I'll try and sort out some tickets.
Yeah,
absolutely. You make sure you have a good pre-season, mate, and we'll come and watch you.
Yeah,
definitely. I'll try.
A good track record of strikers being on this pod.
Haven't
we? So
they've always done well.
So thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
Super.
Thanks for having me.
Martin,
thank
tremendous, you. My man.
If that weren't too long.